All right, I'm gonna do a video on um Corey Gil-Shuster. So he had a conversation with this Palestinian woman saying that Jews aren't, you can't convert to be a Jew. There's no conversion to Judaism, and Jews aren't, like there's no converting to being a Jew. So therefore, Jews aren't converts like Muslims are to Islam, like people convert to Islam and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and run this little clip real quick. I'm gonna give her side of the argument too.
Muslims with different nationalities. But people convert to Islam. You don't convert to be a Jew. A Jew is a Jew for thousands of years.
This is incorrect. Multiple Jews have converted throughout time through Judaism. We also find in the Tanakh that people converted to Judaism. So I don't know where he came up with that. Like that makes absolutely no sense. Why he would come something, say something like that, and it's not true. If we go to the book of Esther, chapter 8, verse 17, we can clearly see that people converted to Jews. Not only that, you have the Edomites, Idumeans, who converted to Judaism also in the New Testament. And I don't want to hear, oh, that's the New Testament. Well, Herod the Great is an actual person. He actually existed. So there's no excuses behind that. Oh, New Testament, New Testament. Well, it's actual. There's a fact. It's factual that he actually lived. The Wailing Wall, the little wall that Jews bow and rock back and forth to, that was created by an Edomite who was a Judaizer who converted to Judaism. So enough with that nonsense that, nobody can convert to Judaism. Of course they can. Book of Esther, chapter 8, verse, what was that? 17. Of course they can. So, yeah, read that. And in every province, and in every city, the place where the word of the king, even his law, is coming, gladness and joy are to the Jews, a banquet and a good day. And many of the peoples of the land are becoming Jews, for a fear of the Jews hath fallen upon them. See, what is this right here? This is their narrative, their side of the story. Their side of the story. We don't know what happened during that time, why they became Jews, but they did become Jews. So the notion that people can't become Jews and they've been Jews for thousands of years of lies. That's a lie right there in the Tanakh. I don't understand why he would say something like that. I understand if he misspoke and it's fine, but he should have corrected himself in his own comment section saying, what I said was wrong. But let's listen to what this Palestinian woman had to say.
Okay, but actually in the so-called Israel, yeah, they can, if you want to convert to be a Jew, you can live here. You can live in
This is absolutely correct. In some cases, it only takes 6 months to 1 year to fully be converted into a Jew. You don't have to sit there and wait your whole life to have an offspring 3 generations later on produce a Jewish child. No, within your lifespan, God willing, if you don't die, you last that 6 months to 1 year, 12 months, obviously. It's all gematria, it's all coding. You can become a Jew. So I don't want to hear this theory that, only Muslims convert to Islam. No, people become Jews. You can become Jewish by the religion and become part of their ethno-religious group. And when we're going to speak on that situation too, because for some reason, I'm getting comments where they think being a Jew is a pure ethno-religious group. No, they're not pure. And you can become a Jew. You can't become a Druze. You cannot convert to a Druze or Zoroastrianism or the people that does the baptisms. The Mandaeans. You can't convert to a Mandaean.
That's
Rare, but yeah, it's true.
So this is the logic here. Yeah, so they can convert actually.
Oh, what did she say? They can convert actually. So, Cora, you were schooled by this Palestinian woman, and I approve of this because she is absolutely correct.
You can have the right to come and live here. But this is not, yeah, this is not fair for Palestinians.
And it's absolutely not fair for Palestinians. And what's not fair for Palestinians is that they were in the land for how many years? It was been known that the name Palestine was being used in the 5th century BC by the Greeks. Herodotus came up with that Palestinian word, and it's supposedly through archaeology or anthropology, it goes back to Philistines. So the Philistines, and what did Ben Yahoo try to use? Oh, we in 2020, oh, that they are the Palestinians are descendants of Philistines. Okay.
So I don't think.
But if a Jew, okay, so let's say a Jew has genetic tests that shows he's related to this land, then can he live here?
Well, this is like a tricky question because we can't answer it like directly because if he has like his ancestors living here, although we can ask this question for Palestinians who
And other places. Yes, that's true. I agree. The logic is the same.
We have to ask these questions for both parties, for both sides. And we can't just focus on the Jews side.
Okay, fair enough. But if everyone was, if you were from here, Jew or Palestinian, would you agree to live in peace?
For Jews being Jews.
I want to stop it right there because the fact is there are Palestinian Jews that were always in the land. And there was peace. There was peace between the Palestinian Jews, the Palestinian Arabs, and the Samaritan Israelites and the Druze. There was peace. But once these European Judaizers came to town, the Zionists who wanted to claim a Jewish state, that's when all these problems came. Oh, but wait, there's more. Not only did these Zionist Jews or Judaizers come to the Palestine, but they also started bringing in all these people to Palestine, and they created an Israel state where, actually, according to the Balfour Declaration, they were actually supposed to stay a minority in the land. They were never supposed to oppress the non-Jewish population in Palestine. They were never supposed to take away the religious and civil rights of the Palestinians. But what did they do? They took away their civil rights and their religious rights in the land. Not only that, they brought people from Ethiopia who had no business being in that land. They are not the original people in the land. The Palestinians actually have genetics proving that they were always in the land. And yeah, there's new proof that the Lebanese Jews or Arabs and Jews are genetically related to the Canaanites. Absolutely. There's absolute proof that there's a shared link. But is it all Jews? No, it's not all Jews. It's a minority of the so-called European Jews. Because not all Jews are the same. You have Mizrahi Jews. You have the so-called Sephardic and the so-called Ashkenazi, which in this video, I'm going to debunk that both of those two names, the Ashkenazi and the Sephardic, because Sephardic has nothing to do with Spain and Ashkenazi has nothing to do with Germany and Europe.
And Palestinians, originally, this would be acceptable. But for people who come from different countries, and this is, these are basics actually. And we can't even argue these things. And for us, this is our belief. And we can't argue. If you're not a Palestinian, your nationality is from a different country, so it's not actually your right to come and get Palestinians out of the displace them of the basis of the original basis, and then say, well, I'm Jew and I have the right to. And then there are many other Palestinians who don't have to find that place to live. So this is not right, actually, and this is not fair for Palestinians. And we don't actually argue these questions because these are like
All right. So that's Corey right there. Yeah, I would just, you should do a video apologizing, like she was absolutely correct and that you're wrong because yeah, and the lady does say before that yeah, there were Palestinian Jews and that there are still Palestinian Jews and that they were always living in the land with in peace. They've been there since the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire became a safe haven for Iberian Jews fleeing persecution. The first and second Aliyah brought an increased Jewish presence to Ottoman Palestine. The Ottoman successor state of modern Turkey continues to be home to a small Jewish population today. So those Palestinian Jews that were living in the land, they had no problem with the Palestinian Arabs. They had no problem with the Samaritan Israelites, and they had no problem with the Druze. Everything was fine and dandy until these European Zionist Judaizers came to town and started wreaking havoc for the people that were already in the land. And is it right? Absolutely not. It is not right what they did. All right, so let's go into the genetics. And what I find so funny is um people got mad because I'm using this study to show that the Ashkenazi roots of their women's side is actually showing that they have a high percentage of European ancestry. What was it, 80%? And they don't like this because it's contradicts the fact that people converted to Judaism. And what do so-called Ashkenazi Jews believe? That you're Jewish based off of your mother. Well, if your mother's lineages were converting to Judaism a long time ago, what does that mean? You descend from a convert because you believe in the matrilineal descent. That goes back to a convert. But it's okay. It's fine because the paternal side is legit now. No, wait a minute. You have the paternal side that's messed up also because there's way different haplogroups that that fall into the um the Y chromosome of Ashkenazi Jews, right? And let's face it, there's multiple haplogroups, which I shared in this comment section. Which, if you know anything about like how to comment on YouTube videos, you can't sit there and post a whole comments and like where they came from, like a proper citation, because your comments get censored. And I mean, it's hilarious where I had somebody claim that this is a trash citation. How is this a trash citation? I mean, just because you don't like it because it's the truth and it's genetically been proven, that doesn't make it trash. I mean, you can be all hurt about the situation, but it doesn't make it trash. So it's interesting, and I welcome these people to get into the chat if they want to. Right now, I'm telling them I'm live right now. If they want to get on the chat, they're more than welcome. I don't see what's the big issue. Um, they want to get in the chat. Let's see. Okay, so I'm dropping the information on the chat. See if anybody joined, because obviously it's such a big deal. Such a big deal. What I said is such a huge deal. So let's see if anybody drops into the chat. I have the contact information there. Feel free to drop in. But yeah, as I was saying, when you try to post comments, from research, you get censored. I got censored for this one right here. Got censored for it. Don't know why. I just got censored, so I had to figure out a way to not get it censored. And what it was literally the title of this paper, like the title of it, got this article or my comment taken down because the article's title was offensive or whatever it was that YouTube censored it. It was too offensive, and it's the truth. All told, more than 80% of maternal lineages of Ashkenazi Jews could be traced to Europe, with only a few lineages originating in the Near East. That's exactly what I said. And this is so offensive. They found this so offensive. Ashkenazi Jews are genetically European. And you say, oh, it's 2013. Well, that doesn't make it irrelevant. That's still relevant. And just because people want to change what's already been known in research, because it doesn't fit their viewpoints. I mean, their perspective, that doesn't work that way. This one was called trash also. And what's so funny is the so-called Ashkenazi Levites, especially the carriers are R1A and R1B, are more than likely descendants of the Scythians. And we see in this Y chromosome side of things is that Ashkenazi Jews carry EM34 or EM123, which was the people that were already there in the land of Israel, the Levant, since the Nutufian period, so 12,700 years ago. EM78, EM81, EM35, which is the father of these three haplogroups, so a branch unspecified under EM35. G-M377, which originally came from the Caucasus. JM12, JM267, JM318, JM410, J page 58, which is known as the so-called coenine module haplotype, TM70, QM378, and RM269, which also R1A. So this is R1B, and there's also R1A. So all of those, that's look how many haplogroups that are. Like, you cannot sit there and tell me you're a pure ethnic religious group. Like, your religion is spread through multiple different paternal lineages. You don't have a pure lineage. So don't say you have a pure lineage. You do not have a pure lineage. I don't want to hear any of these lies anymore. It's not pure lineage. All right. Let's see another one. Let's get to it. This one got called trash too. Oh, these people are anti-Semitic. No, I don't think so, bud. Just because you don't like it, don't make it anti-Semitic. And first of all, if a Jew is part of this study, does that make that Jew or that Arab anti-Semitic when they are Semites? I don't know. To me, it just sounds hilarious. And the concept, somebody said, oh, this contradicts what I'm saying. No, it doesn't. This don't contradict at all. Yeah, not at all, because if you combine Southern European, Eastern European, Western European, what is minority? The Levant. The Levant percentage of this is a minority. And the AJ stands for what? Ashkenazi Jews. So how is this a minority? The infrared ancestry profile for AJ was 5% Western EU, 10% Eastern EU, 30% Levant, and 55% Southern EU. So where was that a lie? But what you see on these ancestry and when people take these DNA tests is that they come back 100% European Jewish, which makes absolutely no sense. It doesn't trace back to the Middle Eastern Jewish. It says European Jewish, which in fact Ancestry.com actually changed it where they put it let me go look at it real quick. They put it for Jews. So how did these people not exist in the Middle East? So that don't make no sense to me. Why did they change that for? And Ancestry has been known for changing that. And first of all, they didn't used to have so-called Sephardic Jewish DNA. None of the DNA companies did. I actually brought it up back in 2017 of why it wasn't a percentage and why it was just Spanish. And my response to that was that that the Spanish DNA actually is part of somewhere in there is part Jewish, and it made no sense. I'm like, wait, what? So Spanish DNA, autosomal DNA, is Jewish, Moorish, Latin, German, all these so-called ethnicities that came into Spain and intermingled throughout that whole period of time, and they just somehow just Spanish. Never made sense to me at all. Never made sense to me. All right. And this is another one. So this is the last one I have posted. And I'm sure that I could find more than what I've posted so far. But the moral of this is that hey, Jews aren't a pure ethno-religious group. There were converts to the religion. I mean, there's been conversion through the religion since the book of Esther. And there's no telling how long before that even. So, I mean, we can't be sitting there saying, "Oh, we are pure." And it's so funny because all I'm getting is these comments from these so-called Jews saying, "Oh, this is anti-Semitism." No, it's not. It's facts. It's been scientifically proven that you aren't an ethnic pure like culture. Like you're not a people that's pure. You're not just some people that don't have admixtures. Y'all have 3 to 5% sub-Saharan DNA, and I'm gonna expose that. Not all Jews do, but some do, and that just proves that there's admixtures. I don't care if it came from ancient Kemet, from what you would call Mithraim. I don't care. The fact is that people have been intermingling, and there's no such thing as a pure so-called ethnic religious Jew. There's no such thing as a pure one. We conclude that AJs probably originated during the first millennium when Iranian Jews Judaized Greco-Roman, Turk, Iranian, Southern Caucasus, and Slavic populations inhabiting the lands of Ashkenaz in Turkey. Bam! Talking about this is a trash article. What are you talking about? How is this a trash article? This is academia right here. And they mad because they see this name right here. They don't like him. Well, he spoke the truth on this. Ashkenaz does come from the Scythians. That's a known fact. We gonna look up the Scythians. All right, so the Scythians were ancient people who spread throughout the Caucasus and Anatolia. They were known as the Ashkenazi and Ashkenazi. So what does that sound like to y'all? Ashkenazi, and according to Josephus, the Ashkenazi were descendants of the Japheth of Gomer, Magog. Right here, Flavius Josephus of the Antiquities of the Jews. Magog founded those that from him were known as the Magogites, but who are by the Greeks called Scythians. All right. So, ain't no lying that.
destiny. So
It's so this person getting like, oh, so you can only perform with an audience. Well, you want to comment back and forth. I don't got time for that. The chat is open. I got the phone number and I got my email. So you want to do Skype or something like that? Bring it on. I don't want to hear no excuses. Don't want to hear no excuses. This person right here, this Linda S. Stecker, who's a weird person. Like, what? Why do you post all your comments from other videos on your video that you uploaded? You got 80 something comments of you posting like just everything, like from Facebook to what is this? Like, what are you posting? Recipes? Like, what are you talking about? Flourless muffins? What are you on about? What is this? I don't understand. Like, what is this? Like, what are you posting? Like, do you not know how to save stuff on your phone? Like, why do you have to use YouTube, like video on YouTube, to save your history? This is so, I've never seen anybody do this before. This is so weird. And I've responded to your comments on your own video, and you haven't even responded. So I don't know if you're just a troll or a robot or something like that, but I don't know. You something else. Like I never seen anybody do this ever. Post recipes on their own YouTube channel. Like that's so weird. And this YouTube channel has nothing to do with recipes. It has nothing to do with the stuff that you're posting about, but you're posting it on your YouTube channel with this. I mean, to each his own. You use your little videos for whatever, but it's really weird. Um. Oh yeah, what I would say do. So, all right. So we're gonna go into look into the Sefer, and see how this is the same word. Let me go ahead and open the book of Obadiah. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 20. So with this, this is about the whole Sepharad, the whole concept that Spain somehow is magically Sepharad, but as we can see, it has nothing to do with Sepharad. So the theory that Spania became Sepharad after 1492 is absolutely ridiculous. It had nothing to do with Sepharad. The Syrians never owned Spain. They were never in Spain, so they never owned Spain, and they never conquered Spain. So the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 20. And removed of this force of the sons of Israel, that is with the Canaanites, unto Sepharad. And the removed of Jerusalem, that is with the Sepharad, possessed the cities of the south. All right, so when we go to the concordance or the lexicon, we see that Sepharad was actually placed in the Syrian region of Syria, a foreign derivation, Sepharad, a region of Syria, Sepharad. So Sepharad had nothing to do with Spain. And when you actually read the Apocryphal books, I think it's Maccabees or let me just see. I want to say it's Maccabees. It's the book of Maccabees or something like that. So it's First Maccabees chapter 8, verse 3. And what they had done in the country of Spain for the winning of the mines of the silver and gold which is there. So as we see, they didn't call it Sepharad, and you can go throughout any translations, and it's not going to translate to Sepharad. It was never known as Sepharad. And if the Jews were calling it Sepharad during that time, they would have said, hey, this is Sepharad. This place right here is called Sepharad. But they never do. Even in the New Testament, it's not known as Sepharad. It's not known as Sepharad. We're going to see. I think it's Spania. Let's see, Spania. Why is not popping up? Book of Romans. Romans 15:24. All right, so and basically this is where Paul is traveling to the Jews to teach about the messianic um preachings of Yeshua. That the prophet or the Messiah has come and he's spreading his word. So, all right. When I may go unto Spain, I will come unto you, for I hope in going through to see you, and by you to be set forward thither. If of you first in part I shall be filled. So we're gonna look at Spain, and you see what I see, Spania. It's not Sepharad. So if these Jews was calling it Sepharad, why wasn't it used as Sepharad in the New Testament? Because it was never Sepharad. That's why. It was never Sepharad. So it goes back to the point of Sipper. All right, Sipper, as we see. All right, so Sipper would have been located near Babylon. This is where the Jews would have been located at. The reason being is because this was the Syrian, the region of the Syrians. They never ever reached all the way out to Spain or Spania. Never. And before that, it was actually called Iberia, and that name came from the Greeks. All right. Sipper has been suggested as the location of the biblical Sepharim in the Old Testament, which alludes to the two parts of the city in its dual form. All right, and that's the citation. G.R. Driver, Geographical Problems, Eretz Israel, Volume 5, pages 18 through 20, 1958. All right, so a thing with that. So when we go back to 2 Kings chapter 17, we see that when the Israelites were replaced, they were replaced by the Sepharites, and I'm gonna break down that understanding of why that occurred. All right, so 1731, and the Avites have made Nibads and Tartop, and the Sivarites are burning their sons with fire. Adramak, Malak, and Anmal Melak, gods of Sepharim. And what this meant was two cities, the two Sippar cities. And I'm going to pull that up too, the two Sippar cities. The two Sipparos. There we go. The Sepharim was known as the two Sippars. And what this meant was two book towns. The two book towns. So the whole concept is that somehow the Sephardic are somehow magically like Spain is beyond me. Like, where did that come from? Where were they in Iraq and just came out of nowhere to Spain? It makes absolutely no sense when it's a known fact where this location is located at. It's not nowhere near where they're saying it's located. It's in Iraq, modern day Iraq, on the Euphrates, near Babylon. Sorry, I did. See. Empire under. All right. Syrian Empire under Sargon II. Bam. I'm gonna look at this map. Because this map should show us where all these locations are at. The Sepharad. Or as we see where it's located at. This is your so-called Sepharad. Right next to it was another place, Nippur and Sepharad. These were book cities. This is where the Sepharim came from. And yes, these people are the same people as the so-called Sephardi. It's the same thing. It's no different. Spain was never called Sepharad. This is where Sepharad was located. Right here. This is it. We see where Ashkenazi, where it was located also. Right here in this map, it's showing that it's in Armenia. But during those times, we have no idea what was considered Armenia or Turkey. And remember that this is all man-made. Like later on, depictions of where was what place was where. So we see Ashkenazi, Sepharad. That's Sepharad. And if you look at these locations in here, you would see where a lot of the Israelites were spread off to. And you see a lot of these places are in Syria, Iraq, or the border of Syria and Iraq. I mean, a lot of these places, these people are still here. The so-called Israelite or the scattered people that were originally in the Levant, they're still in the so-called Middle East. They never went anywhere. Map. All right. I'm going to show y'all too something. Because a lot of people won't show this. I don't see nobody really teaching this at all. You see how all these little cities have the name Yah in it? Why is that? Why do they have that Yah in their name for? Why do they have Yah? Look at Syria. Yah. Al-Qaryah. Come on. Why did they have these Yahs for? Do anybody know why they have Yah in their city names? Why did they have these Yahs for? Which people were known as Yah, would be called by the name Yah? Which people? And why would they be calling their cities based off of that Yah name if these people had nothing to do with Semites or Jews or Israelites? Why would they be calling these places Yah, ending it with Yah? My people shall be known by my name. I'm just saying. Why would these places be called Yah? All right, 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. And my people, whose people? Yahweh's people. On whom my name, which name? Yah's name, is called, be humble. That's his people. They called by his name. And pray and seek my face and turn back from their evil ways. Then I hear from the heavens and forgive their sins and heal their land. So which people? Which people is going to be called? You don't see people. How come the people in Israel ain't calling their places by Yahweh's name? I don't see them over there calling places Yah. You don't see it. If my people upon whom my name is called. So we know it's Yahweh, but you don't see people in Israel calling themselves by Yah. They don't call themselves Yah. They don't put no cities with Yah in it. They don't put that I don't care how they claim it is, YH or YAH. It don't matter. They don't use it at all. They don't attempt to use it. But you got places in Syria, Iraq, I think Saudi Arabia too. We're gonna see. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 52 and verse 6. Therefore, doeth my people know my name. Therefore, in that day, surely I am he who is speaking. Behold me. So it looked like the people is going to know their name, and we see which people is using the name. My name. But no place in Israel do you see that they calling this, having Yah at the end of it. Caught your second string? The New Testament was written in Greek, much later than the Hebrew Tanakh. Sepharad is in the book of Obadiah from about the 6th century BCE. The fact is, let's see what this person's talking about. The fact is, ain't nowhere does Sepharad mean Spain. And how about you get on my live stream? Don't be sitting there watching me. Get on. I got the phone number and I have the email. I am on Skype. If you want to Skype me, go ahead and get on. Don't be sitting there comments and comments. Who are you? Oh, that's your excuse? You have very spotty Wi-Fi? I don't do anything live because you're a coward. You're a coward. You have no argument. Your argument is weak. You're applesauce. You have nothing. You have no argument. That's why you're a coward. You can hear me. Yes, that's great. You are a coward. You won't get on no live stream because all you do is a keyboard warrior. That's all you doing. Y'all's people. You are not y'all's people. That's right. I'm glad you're watching my video. You are not Yahweh's people. That is right. You don't use Yahweh. When you pray in your synagogues, you don't use Yahweh. You don't say Yah. You say Adonai and you say Elohim. Or what's the other one they use? Adonai and what's the other one? Hashem. The name. What is the name? You tell me what the name is. You say the name in Hebrew. Why? Why do you say the name? What name? What specific name is it? Oh, we don't know the name. It was lost in translation. No, it wasn't. You got Israeli universities in Israel that know the name was Yahweh. And none of you so-called Jews say the name. Because why? My people shall be known by my name. Guess who aren't the people? Guess who aren't the people? Why do you have people in Iraq and in Syria using Yah in their city names? But people in Israel do not use that name Yah. You don't use the name Yah. If you ask the Yemenite Jews, they know that the name is Yahweh. They know that the name is Yahweh. But you so-called Ashkenazi Jews and Sephardic Jews, y'all say Hashem and Adonai. Can post on the channel? My phone number is live. I posted the freaking phone number in the chat. Get with it or get lost. Come on. Get you with that second Ezra chapter 6, verse 56. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle. Which people wrote this? And has likened the abundance of them until a drop that falleth from the vessel. Who wrote that? Who wrote that? Did Jews write that? Because that's the way Jews think. They think that they're their greatest thing and that they're above all other people, that they're chosen and everybody else is goyim. They're heathens. Yep, you have no argument. You have no argument at all. No argument at all. You didn't like the genetic studies. You don't like the Torah. You don't like the Tanakh because y'all don't go based off of the Tanakh. You don't go based off of the Tanakh. You go based off of the Talmud. And what were y'all calling other people in the Talmud? We don't want to go there because more than likely, you're a Democrat and you won't like what the so-called Jews were writing about other people in the Talmuds, especially not the Jerusalem Talmud, especially not the Babylonian Talmud. I made videos. I'm sure you caught what the so-called Jews wrote in those Talmuds. Sorry excuses. My Wi-Fi is spotty. Get out of here. What type of sorry excuse is that? There's no excuse. I got the phone number on. How are you watching YouTube videos, but you can't use Google Voice? You can't use a freaking Text Now app. What excuse you gonna come up with next? You wear tighty whities, like, and you're afraid to dribble some urine on it because I'm gonna destroy you? Like, I don't understand why you making excuses for it. Stop making excuses. And you see, unlike you, I could actually do this video where you have 0 videos. Y'all have 0, except for this Linda. She has a video, but it makes absolutely no sense, and she just uses it to keep all her history, her browsing history, which is really weird, but, you know, teaches on. Wow. I want to show y'all what this person said. What? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's a Yiddish slang word. I don't know what this means. It's swollen. I don't know. Like, I have no idea. It's oh man. It's crazy. Mm-mm-mm-mm. But anyways, I'm gonna carry on. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Scythians. Back to the Scythians. So I mean, obviously nobody has anything to say. They won't make any comments at all. They won't actually join into my live because they know they have no argument. No argument at all. Oh, hey, Mystical Order of Israel. Hey, bud. The phone line is right there. The Skype is right there. The Canaanites, the Phoenicians aren't Jews. They never called Spain Sepharad. Spain had nothing to do with the Assyrians. The Canaanites aren't Assyrians. So your argument is dull. It's void. It's not. It makes no sense. You have no argument. And instead of commenting on chat, how about you join the live? Just join the live. That's all you got to do. Bring all the so-called Jewish peoples and all you want to. Just bring it all. I'll take all that flame. I don't care. I'll take all that heat. Y'all so strong at defending your so-called doctrine, your dummy doctrines, that you won't get on live stream to do it. But in these comments, y'all are warriors. Y'all are warriors with these comments. back and forth with the same nonsense. Oh, that's trash genetics. Genetics ain't true. That's just anti-Semitism. Many Israelites migrated to Iberia. Prove that. Prove that. Prove that they migrated to Iberia. Show me Iberia in the Tanakh. Show me which version shows Iberia, because Bible Hub has every single key word that you want to look for, and show me Iberia. You're not going to find it because the word Iberia is Greek. Greek. He was a Greek. A Greek. So don't come up with the whole concept of Iberia. No. That was a Greek who called Spain Iberia. He wasn't no Jew. He wasn't no Canaanite. He was a Greek. We ain't gonna sit there and play with these lies, man. And I'm not. I don't know if you're trying to test me, like trying to question my intelligence, but I don't play that. The phone number's right there. Call it. Call it. Join in. Call it. I want to take all these questions and arguments. Don't sit here on no chat with the comments back and forth, back and forth. Call the phone number. Don't be afraid of your voice gonna get recorded. Google's already recording your voice. They already know what you do, what you order on Amazon, what you wake up in the morning and do, what you do before you go to bed. So whatever you're doing throughout the day, they know already. So don't worry about it. And another thing what you ain't add on is that the Maghreb, the so-called Amazian, that they were the actual Moors. They were the ones that were Arabized and converted to Islam by the real freaking people that came from the Middle East and converted them. But still, that ain't got nothing to do with Spain being called Sepharad, because it was never called Sepharad. Not before 1492. It sure was not. And what's crazy is that the Umber degree this right here had nothing. It never, not one time, called the so-called Jews Sepharad. It was they never referred to the place as Sepharad or Sephardi Jews. They never called them that. Why? What is the earliest history? What is the earliest document in archaeology that shows that Jews was calling Spain Sepharad? What document can you show me? What is the earliest document to show me that Jews were calling the place Sepharad? And I don't want to hear, oh well, the Spanish was burning all the Jewish textbooks. No, that's not it. That's excuses. Because if the Spanish, if they wanted to, they could have referred to the Jews as Sephardi Jews. And they did not call them Sephardi Jews. They didn't. I'm still waiting. Anybody can join on. I don't care. I'm taking anybody. Black Hebrew Israelites, Jews, it don't matter. I don't care what you are. Muslim, it don't matter. Palestinian, I don't care. We can talk about this. Does anybody want to talk about this? About the Balfour Declaration? Anybody want to talk about the Balfour Declaration? What about this? Anybody want to talk about this? I mean, everybody. There was so many people who had the comments. They loved to comment and run their mouths about some Jews being ethnic, religious, pure Jews or something. I don't know, because my whole argument was that for the majority, their lineages trace back to Europe. A minority traces back to the Middle East. And you find that majority is actually going to be on the Y chromosome with haplogroup J1, page 58. That's where they came out with the whole concept of the coename module haplotype. I'm just saying, like, y'all, the the phone lines is hot. Like, just call. Like, it's good. Y'all can call in. Anybody can call in. Don't be afraid. Ask any question you want to. I'm a dialogue professionally, but don't get slick now. I'm gonna call you out. The declaration specifically stipulated that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine. But what happened? What happened to the Palestinians? Oh, they basically just did away. They didn't want to keep that part. They didn't want to keep this part. So they basically took the religious and civil rights away from the Palestinians. It's the truth. It's not lies. It's the truth. They took away the rights of the Palestinians, or the Palestinians. They took their rights away, civil rights away, and they kicked them out of their homelands when it was actually supposed to be the opposite, where the Jews remained a minority in the land and the Palestinians remained a majority. But that's not what it is. And that goes into the whole push of why the British should push for this right here. They don't agree, like, they don't believe that it actually was against the Palestinians, that the Israeli did go against the Palestinians, and how it was supposed to be how they were supposed to be like they're living together in peace, where Jews were a minority, Palestinians were a majority. But that's not what happened. This idiot Amazian, who is that? You don't even know what you're talking about. The people of North Africa are called Amazia. Amazian is the plural form of it. Because this is pure racism right here. But it's okay for a so-called Jew to be racist, but it's not okay for somebody to call them out. It's going to be so-called anti-Semitism. Yeah, because you're a coward and won't get online. Great to watch you speak to yourself. You have nothing to back up your nonsense. Well, you have nothing to actually back up your nonsense and actually get on and prove me wrong. Therefore, you are a coward. Coward. You are a coward. Shayna Zion, you're a coward. You have no argument. You have no argument at all. The Sephardim, the Sephardim are known from about thousands. They were known before. I done showed you what the Sephardim are. It's a well-known fact who the Sephardim are. There's no Sephardim in the Bible. It's the Sephardim. And these people were placed, the so-called Israelites in Samaria. You people have no idea of the Tanakh. You claim to know the Tanakh, and you don't. You don't know the Tanakh. You claim you do, and you don't. Keep watching. You're going to learn something today because you obviously don't have a clue. Oh, we know the Tanakh. We know the Tanakh. No, you don't. You know the Talmud. That's what you know, the Talmud. Stay with the Talmud because you don't know this Tanakh like that. You don't. You claim you do, and you don't. Read this. I want you to read this whole thing right here. Read this whole thing. Read 2 Kings 17, verse 24. And the king of Ashur bringeth in from Babylon, and from Cutha, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sepharim, and causeth them to dwell in the cities of Samaria, instead, read that, instead of the sons of Israel. And they possessed Samaria and dwell in its cities. Who did? The Sephardim. Who are the Sephardim? The so-called Sephardim. They're the same people. And Sephardim actually didn't mean a people group. It meant the two separate cities, the two book towns, which you so-called Jews do not know because you don't know the Tanakh. You don't know the Tanakh, and you're not going to argue with me because you can't. You got no argument. There were no Palestinians. Oh, yes, there were Palestinians. We're going to find out when the Palestinians were people. Oh, the Palestinians were people in the 5th century. You see, the term Palestinian first appeared in the 5th century BC. Oh, when the ancient Greek Herodotus brought of a district of Syria called Palestine between Phoenicia and Greece in the histories. So what are you talking about? There was no such thing as Palestinians? That is a lie. The people that was living in that land was referred to as Palestinians by the Greeks. Palestinians. Palestinians were Jews. If the Palestinians were Jews, why are y'all so-called anti-Jewish against the Palestinians for? Why do y'all hate the Palestinians so much? Y'all hate the Palestinians. You say that the Palestinians were invented in 1964. No, it wasn't. We see it's the 5th century BC. That's why you will not come on and do a live chat because you can't. You won't. You will get destroyed on this channel. You can sit there comment all day, but you will get destroyed on the live chat. You have no argument at all. They were Philistines, not the Palestinians. No, they were Palestinians. You absolutely know nothing. You know nothing. We're going to see exactly what the Palestinian DNA showcases. We're going to see. We're going to see if you know what you're talking about. We're going to see. We are going to see. Oh, but before we begin this, I want to show you something. I got it already downloaded as a PDF, but I want to show you this. How did I'm just saying, man, how y'all link to African DNA and the admixtures there too. Cause y'all want to claim that y'all so-called pure race. I don't even understand that. Like, why would you ever claim to be so-called pure? You're not. People convert. It's a known fact. And I'm sure you're gonna sit there and say that this paper is trash too. The history of African gene flow into Southern Europeans, Levantines, and Jews. So here's the thing. Just because you didn't intermingle with sub-Saharans or African ancestry, don't mean you didn't intermingle with other people who were carrying African ancestry that converted to Judaism. Here we apply genomic methods to show that the proportion of African ancestry in many Southern European groups is 1 to 3%. In Middle Eastern groups is 4 to 15%. And in Jewish groups is 3 to 5%. So if you didn't intermingle with other people, are you saying that you already had this African ancestry in your DNA? Like, did you already have this African ancestry, like admixture? Oh, yeah, see, you're not gonna win this argument. I was trying to figure out what exactly the Palestinians, they're Philistines, right? She said that the Palestinians are Philistines. Oh, that is a lie. That is a damn lie. In fact, if anybody, the people that follow my channel absolutely knows that the Palestinians carried R1B, which is actually Eurasian, which is majority of the so-called Europeans carried. So if the Philistines was carrying R1B, how can the Palestinians be Philistines when they don't carry majority R1B, but instead they carry majority JM267? I'm just saying, make it make sense, lady. Make it make sense. The majority of Palestinian Muslims were haplogroup J1, 37.82%, followed by E1B1B at 8 or 19.33%, and T, 5.88%. What are you talking about? I'm just saying, what are you talking about? Like, can you make your comment make sense? Because it's not making any sense. The Philistines were Y haplogroup R1B dash M269, which was common in the Bell Beaker culture. So if the Philistines had carried R1B and the Palestinians are the descendants of the Philistines, why did they carry a different haplogroup? Can you answer me that, Sherlock Holmes? Because I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to figure this out. Palestinian Christians, 31.82%, were a subclade of E1B1B, followed by G2A, 11.36%, and J1, 9.09%. So if the Palestinians are Philistines, why don't they carry the same haplogroup as the Philistines? Make it make sense. That's all I'm asking for. Make it make sense. Don't make outrageous claims and you can't back up what you're saying. Mm. Talking about there were no Palestinians in 1920. What a joke. It's crazy. So technically, there was no Israel before 1948 because without the British, you wouldn't have been able to create a Jewish home. Is that correct? I mean, using that type of logic, you don't have a so-called Israel without the British. It's so funny. You had to edit your comments. So that's so cute. Ah, you're a dumb troll. You're a dumb troll. You make no sense. Stop trolling. You can't troll. I told you to put Karen Patrolling as your username and you didn't change it. That's what you should put your username as, Karen Patrolling. You know absolutely nothing. You know nothing at all. You know nothing at all. I just had to show you they carried R1B. And your so-called Bibi Netanyahu said that the Palestinians were descendants of the Philistines, and he was absolutely incorrect. Who is Bibi Yahoo? That was your what? Who was he to y'all? Your what? Oh, okay. He was in charge of all of y'all. You were just the ant amongst them. Oh, see, all these people are they're so strong-minded. They can comment. They can run those fingers fast as possible on that keyboard on their phone, but they can't join the live chat. They can't. They cannot join a live debate. They will not. The phone number is in the live chat. The email is in the live chat. I use Skype. So if you feeling like you want to join, feel free. I don't see nobody trying to request to join. Nobody. Nobody on here is requesting to join. Heck, I tell you what, if you use something different, let me know and I'll get on there. But you won't do it. You won't not do a live stream debate with me. Why? Because your Wi-Fi is spotty. But you can watch full length YouTube videos, but your Wi-Fi is spotty, and you can refresh the comment section every second to post comments on my comments, even though the whole point of me taking you away from my comments is because you have no argument and all you wanted to say is, oh, this is anti-Semitism. This is anti-Semitism. That's all you did. This is anti-Semitism. This is not true. The DNA is not true. We are the real Jews. We are Levantine. You don't check. Look at this idiot. Look at this moron. This is how you know somebody they make absolutely no sense. I don't chat. Watch what this person said. You debunk nothing. I don't chat with incompetence. So what do you call this whole chatting back and forth? Is that not chatting? You are the incompetent one, individual. Shana Zion, you are incompetent. It is funny watching talk to yourself. So you admit that you're watching the video, but you are too much of a coward to actually join because you don't want your little your little squeaky voice to get recorded. Is that it? You don't want your voice to get recorded? Oh, okay. Because you don't want to get debunked, huh? Better change them whitey tighty shit. I'm not the one. Because you wind up probably actually be a guy. I'm not stupid. I know what month this is. You probably actually a guy using a female's name. I'm not even playing either. I guarantee this person's a guy. Prove it. Prove you're not a guy. Kid on the live stream. Prove you got my Google Voice. Call me. Prove that you're not a guy. Prove that you're not a guy. And this individual continues to chat. Wow. Little trolls, man. I swear these are YouTube trolls. Like these are bots. Like they just run their mouths constantly, 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 and they can't prove a dang thing they're saying. You seem finished. Like who posts comments on like recipe cards on your YouTube video? Like who does that? Like you have no idea how to save history on your phone. Like who does this? I'm trying to figure it out. Like when I saw this, I'm like, what is this? Like it makes no sense. I'm gonna show this one more time on your channel and why it makes no sense. Oh my gosh. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna show this again. Like, what is this? Look at this. Look at this individual. Like, what is this? Who does stuff like this? You have to keep your history like on your video. Like, who does this? Like, who posts recipe cards on your video channel? And the whole thing is have a good day. It's a bear, and it only lasts like 1 second, not even a second. It's probably like 0.09 or something like that. That or my bad. So that'll be 0.009. So it'd be like 1.001 of a second. Look at this. Like, what is she talking about? Afghanistan. Pray for the people of Afghanistan, especially the women and children. Bear witness to their plot. What are you talking about? So I'm seeing the months. So 10 months ago. So that was the whole pullout from Afghanistan. I'm presuming. Like, oh, man, this individual is strange. Like, who does this stuff? I ain't never seen anybody do this before. You posting URLs? Like, why would you post URLs on your? I just want to see what you posting. What do you? Who could win? The entire Middle East and North Africa actively fighting or passively supporting one brave and resilient boy? Like, really? You really saying North Africa and the Middle East versus Israel? Oh man, I just don't understand this. Like, what is like? I just don't get it. Like, who does stuff like this? Yep, still waiting. And, so funny is they call Tarshish was somehow supposedly in was supposed to be in Spain, and in actuality, you find the Tarshish was actually there was a Turkish Tarshish too. So, but they don't teach you this. They just say, oh, there was just a Tarshish was just in Spain or southern Spain right here, but they don't teach you that there was actually a Tarshish in Turkey, and the reason being is because majority of like Gomer, Magog, Ashkenaz, Javan, and the Greeks, they were all in this general Anatolian area, Balkan area. So somehow magically they just went to southern Spain, going towards North Africa makes absolutely no sense. So basically, it's all just like theorized. Like people just tried to like say, oh, well, this place is Sepharad, this place is Ashkenaz. Like they made up stuff, and they just expected nobody to actually do their research and find out where this stuff is actually located. This is what I'm talking about right here. It's not popping up. For some reason that map's not popping up. Let me just open it up. There we go. Mm-hmm. So we see Javan, where the so-called Greeks. You got Kittim, Tarshish, North Africa put. I'm just saying, and right in this general area where the Euphrates is near Nimrod, that's where your so-called Sepharad would have been located. Babylon. All these locations right here, um, down in Mesopotamia, would have been like majority of the Assyrian region. Like this is where the Syrians were the most dominant people. Like that's where their empire started off. And like all these areas were conquered by the Assyrians. We see up north of there, we see Magog, Gomer, and Ashkenaz, and what would be presently called Ararat, mountains of Ararat. These were the so-called Scythians. That's where the Scythians were located at. Ashkenaz, Scythians. But you got so-called people on I forgot what his name, Britayam or something. I forgot what this guy's name is. He lives in Israel, but he tries to say that the Scythians were Israelites. And I'm like, wait a minute. If the Scythians were Israelites, then why did Flavius Josephus say that they were descendants of Magog? Like, what? So do you not believe in this so-called historian like Flavius Josephus, a Jew historian? Do you not believe in his works? This person, I'm leaving now. I have other things to do, but watch you argue with yourself. Without me, you have no watchers but you. That, that's funny, and you never. The whole purpose of this video was actually to invite you to actually have a live dialogue with me, to have a live debate, but you refuse. You refuse. You refuse. You didn't even comment in the live chat. You just refuse. This is hilarious. Like, these trolls, when they get called out, they can't do anything. I even showed the whole conversation, like how this started and everything, with Corey's his slip up, misspoken, mistake, because what he said was a mistake, and it was. I'm not criticizing him for making that mistake harshly, but I criticized him for making the mistake because he could have said, in the comments section, I misspoke and said this when people have converted to being Jews. He didn't do that though. He didn't put in his comment section that people have actually converted to become Jews. He didn't. And that's the reason why I'm criticizing the way I am. And it's not harsh criticism. This isn't harsh criticism. This is fair criticism. I didn't speak poorly of Corey. I think what he does is great. I've been watching him since 2018, 17, something like that. I've been watching him for a long time now. And I think it's great that he does. But when you say stuff like that to Palestinians, and he didn't apologize to her, he should apologize to her. A real man would apologize to her. I would apologize, saying, you know what, I misspoke. I was incorrect. People have converted to become Jews, and they have. Even your Tanakh tells you they have. So, I mean, it just sucks that you do this live debate, and I'm all looking forward to having like live discussions with people because they want to say these crazy things, and it's like they have nothing to back up what they're claiming. It's hilarious. Like, don't say stuff and you can't back it up. And if you get questioned or confronted about it, just be able to answer it properly. But I'm gonna leave it there. All right.